Hello, this video is going to be about what radio calls to make when you're at an uncontrolled aerodrome. So it might be a regular airport such as Manchester or Gatwick, and there just happens that there isn't a controller there. It could be a little grass airstrip. Today's example, we're going to fly out of Popham, interesting little airstrip in Hampshire. So when there's no ATC coverage whatsoever, all the radio calls will be made on unicom 122.8. Up until a year or two ago, you couldn't actually speak on unicom, it all had to be via text. And a lot of people still do that. So it makes it a little bit tricky if they are texting their intentions to everyone and you're speaking. So let's do some preparation. Little bit of interesting reading in the Skyway Code, which says that even if you believe the circuit is clear but not sure, there's no harm in asking over the radio if there's anyone else there. I've never heard anyone do that on Vatsim. However, even if you think that there's no one else around, you should continue to announce your positions and intentions as blind calls. On Vatsim, unicom is the equivalent of safety-com in the real world. So this is used at aerodromes that don't have an assigned frequency. At Popham in the real world there is actually an assigned frequency, there's a radio operator there. But on Vatsim they don't use AGOs, radio operators, so it's all done on unicom. And it says in here you may use this frequency within 10 miles and up to 1,000 feet above the circuit. Small airfields like this don't have any information on the NATS website as far as I'm aware. Instead, they probably have their own website, a source of information, and here there's a nice diagram and a bit of information. So today we've got weather from the west, so we'll take off on runway 26, and they actually have this offset right hand pattern. We'll head off north out of the ATZ, and then coming back we're going to do an overhead join. So Vatsim don't really care whether you do this or not, but it's good practice. I think mastering the overhead join is a little challenge in itself, and it really shows that you know what you're doing. So here at Popham, overhead join is the general standard. You might have seen this classic diagram from the CAA. This one's out of the Skyway Code, and it's a great demonstration of what to do when you are coming in over the top of the existing circuit, which is what we're going to do, but it doesn't actually explain what to do when you come in from other directions. In my mind, imagine a roundabout in the sky 1,000 feet above circuit height. You just join it from any direction, you go round in your little orbit till you are correctly orientated, and then you go off and descend dead side. Cap 413 has some examples of the phraseology. So we'll give a blind call to say that we're taxiing to our runway, although this says this is optional. Then we'll give a call to say that we're lining up and departing. We'll also give a call to say that we are climbing away and turning on course, departing to the north. And then when we come back, we'll give a call when we are 10 miles away to say who we are, where we are, and that we're going to join overhead. Then we'll give another call to say that we are overhead and that we are descending dead side. And then as we come back, we'll give a call to say we're joining the downwind leg. Probably won't bother with the base leg call unless there's any other traffic there. And then we will call to say we're on final. And then we'll say that we've vacated the runway and taxiing back to parking. Here we are in our little aeroplane. Aerodrome altitude is just over 500 feet. One thing I didn't say was that circuit heights here are 800 feet QFE, so 800 feet above aerodrome elevation, so 1300 feet on the QNH. So the first call will be to tell everyone that we are taxiing to runway 26. Popham traffic, Golf Romeo Charlie, taxiing to 26, Popham. This annoying man with his trolley. So it's suggested that when you make your calls, as well as saying the name of the aerodrome at the beginning, you also say it at the end. Sometimes you just hear garbled rubbish on unicom, and I have no idea what aerodrome they're talking about. Top tip though, if the radio quality is very poor, then it's probably referring to an aerodrome that's a long way away from you, because the voice codec that Vatsim uses now is designed to degrade with distance. Now obviously in the real world you'd need to just keep a very good lookout for traffic yourself, because you haven't got any controller to help you. So I'm having a really good look to check that there's no one on final or base leg. And of course, I suppose you need really to just watch out for traffic coming in on what is basically the wrong runway. I mean, you're not obliged to land into the wind if you don't want to. So I'm going to have a quick look the other way as well. Popham traffic, Golf Romeo Charlie lining up and departing 26, Popham. Popham traffic, Golf Romeo Charlie climbing away and departing to the north, Popham. Okay, so that's basically it for the departure. Nice and easy. Okay, here we are now. So I've put range rings on so we can see where we are. So that's 10 miles northwest now. So I'm going to make the initial call to say we're coming back. Popham traffic, Golf Romeo Charlie is a Cessna 152, 10 miles northwest, descending to join overhead. Estimate airfield in 6 minutes. Popham. So circuit height is 1,300 feet QNH. So to join overhead, it's 1,000 feet above that unless otherwise specified. So we'll descend to 2,300. So I'm tracking direct to the airfield at the moment. And then I'll turn slightly south when I get over this dual carriageway and go along there till I find the airfield. Right. Circle that way round, right hand circuit, descend dead side, come back, join the downwind leg and land. Now if you want to try and maximise your realism, I can really recommend not only turning off the other traffic from little nav map so you can't see them, but also turn off your own aircraft so that you just have to navigate by looking out the window. Nothing inspires you to keep a really good lookout than the very real threat of colliding with someone and making an idiot of yourself, even if it is in a virtual situation. In the real world, of course, it is much easier to see another moving aircraft out of the window. In the simulator, I can only see the lights. I find it really hard to see them. So the next call will be that we are joining overhead, which I'm going to make just now, just before we get directly above it. Popham traffic, Golf Romeo Charlie, joining overhead for runway 26, Popham. So, oh, I'm on the wrong side. So right hand traffic pattern, so I want to have the airfield on my right. There it is there. Now I'm going to circle over it. Looking for traffic. You can see the runway there. And then when I'm perpendicular to runway 26, I'm going to descend dead side. Popham traffic, Golf Romeo Charlie, descending dead side, 26 to land, Popham. So once I'm halfway descended, we'll turn around. And then we'll cross back over sort of mid-runway, so that we're definitely out of the way of any taking off aircraft coming up like a rocket. So we're now coming back up north. And descending to circuit height. A good lookout for other traffic. Okay, turn right for the downwind now. Popham traffic, Golf Romeo Charlie, downwind 26 to land, Popham. Turning base now. Doesn't seem to be any other traffic in the circuit, so I'm not going to bother making a call. But this base leg is going to be short, so I'm going to decelerate now. And here we are on final. Popham traffic, Golf Romeo Charlie, final 26 to land, Popham. So Popham, it's an offset approach and there's a white arrow painted in a field for you to fly over. As usual, no comments about my flying skills, thank you. Not interested in that. It's just about the Vatsim thing. Okay, there's the white arrow there. A bit high. I think probably in the real world we'd go round, but let's not. Whoops. Okay, then when we vacated, or run off the end of the runway, Popham traffic, Golf Romeo Charlie, runway vacated, taxiing to parking, Popham. And there we are. There's a nice man that's going to park me. If you are using 2020 and you're interested in what these signals are that this man does, I'm sure you can figure it out, but if you look in the back of the Skyway Code, and it's got some nice pictures and explanations of what these signals mean. Okay, there we are. That's it. Bye bye.